2008, in the early part of 2008, our marriage was coming to an end. For 6 years of our marriage, I basically put God on the shelf to make our marriage work. I was a believer, and India wasn't. And I thought the only way to make the marriage work was for me to kind of not talk about it. So it was almost like I was living two separate lives. And as marriage is coming to an end, and we did some real bad things to one another. We're talking about who's going to have custody of the kids. We're talking about what little assets we have, how they're going to be divided up. I left this cabin we were living in and went on outside, and I dropped to my knees, and I was broken, and I asked God to forgive me. And I thought of a song I heard, "Tear My World Apart." No matter what it took, I just wanted to be Him back in my life, and forgive me for doing what I had done. And I walked back in the house, and India was. I asked her to forgive me, and India was so moved.
He was totally different. Like, visibly, voice was different, body language was different, and it totally shook me up. And that was the first time I thought, I think this is real.
That started the process of us reconciling, and we started thinking about we can make this marriage work. But she still wasn't a believer, so she started to think about it. And I'm starting to work on my faith again. And we go back east for the summer to where she was from. And we were actually thinking about maybe even moving there. And Craig dies. And I'm back east, and I've got family and friends who are in the hospital, and I just felt like I belonged here. And I come back from the memorial service, and I watched Nate sing this "I Can Only Imagine," and Jeff gives a wonderful, sermon, I guess you will, a message in the service. And I jumped back on a plane, flew back to Cape Cod, and I told India we're going home to where our family is. And we came back, and that was in August, and within 3 months, India is going to church. We're going to church here now, and listened to the messages, and the music was great, and God was pleased, and her heart's being moved, and she gets saved. And in early October, she was baptized down at the Flamingo River in a private ceremony with family and friends. And now, we look at it, our kids are downstairs in the children's ministries. We're talking about how we can become members of the church now, and instead of being consumers, we want to be contributors. And we're just so grateful for this church and what it's done for our family.
It's everything. We have another baby boy now, which we never would have had. We came and talked to Jeff about it before we even made the decision. It's like a huge part of our family now. It is our family.
Yeah, we just praise God for us being here.